Hey, good morning. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's live market profile analysis. So this is a weekly expiry video today, 8th of July. Before I start, just a quick disclaimer that trading involves substantial risk and is not suitable for all investors. Also, the information which I'm sharing is for educational purposes only and cannot be used for any trade-related activity. So with that, let me just quickly share my screen and let's look at what's currently happening in the Nifty and how the auction is developing. So first things first is, so there are weaker references around the previous day high, previous day low. This weaker reference, it just got taken out and we just saw a sharp dip below and again the auction is just going higher. So I'm expecting it actually to tag the previous day low and this entire, so let me just clear the drawing. And one of the things which I want to share everyone is this massive trade, or I would say this only happened in the futures chart, not in the Nifty spot chart. So this was some issue which in NFC clarified that there were some buy and sell orders. That's why we saw a massive run and then auction actually settled down below this previous high, this poor high. Okay. So I just like to share is when I saw this big up move, I was just totally aghast and I didn't know which way the auction is developing. So looking at this, this I'm considering is as a big anomaly and a big spike. Uh, so auction or the auction, it will take time to clear, maybe a 1 month, maybe 2 month, and then we might see reaching new highs. Uh, Plus this month onwards, so July and August, this is nothing but where the results will come in. So currently this entire zone is the demand zone. So let the auction clear first of all the single thing which is in the low and also clear the buyers which are here. So there are stop loss orders here and also we have unfinished auction at low. So let all this get clear and then I'm expecting a reversal uh, and one sideways movement, some sideways, but that's the overall I would say the biasness which have. It's not that it will happen, but just a thought process from a long-term perspective. So let me now just zoom in to the actual chart. So what happened yesterday and the previous day? So I discussed on the Monday, that is 5th of July. So Tuesday and Wednesday were also very good days to observe. So if you see, we have a value extension. So this is the value of Tuesday and Wednesday, this is the value. And overall, if you see, the value shifted lower. So this is Tuesday and this is Wednesday. Sorry for the messy chart, but I just want to explain you the context first. Okay, so Tuesday and Wednesday, so this was the previous value, Monday's value, we saw value higher, then now value developing lower. And now if you see the overall value is just developing sideways. So from the context perspective, nothing has changed. The intraday players, they are just trying to time the market and take the entry. So now let's see whether, so coming back to current auction, let's see. So this is one of the reference area. We have a single print. We also have unfinished auction here. So let's see whether this gets tagged or not. We also have a single print from Monday and also a gap. So there is one anomaly and there is a second anomaly. Yeah, so two anomalies and we also have a half back. So odds are higher that we might see continuation to the downside and see some sort of pullback. So let's see what happens. Currently the auction. So let me just delete this. I'll just move the reference here, and I'll just change this to previous day low. Okay. So yeah. So currently the auction is sort of, I would say not one-time framing, but so we had an HVN here, we had a POC here, we also had one more HVN here. So this HVN is important reference for me right now. So we are currently seeing continuation. So let the auction develop lower and tag the previous day low and see then what happens. Whether we see continuation or whether we see pullback. Okay. So that's one of the things which I wanted to share. Now I'll just take you through the couple of trades which I have taken. So I'll just first of all explain the chart. So this is a Nifty index chart, a spot chart. Every chart is 5 minutes. This is a futures chart. This is a Bank Nifty index chart, and this is a Bank Nifty futures chart. Okay. So here the indicators which I have kept is this is 50 EMA and this is 200 EMA. On the futures chart, I have VWAP and I have this volume profile visible range. Okay. And what I do is I mark. So if you see this line, blue line, these are nothing but previous day high and previous day low. So right now we are seeing continuation to the downside, both in both the charts, same seen in Bank Nifty. So Bank Nifty, this is a 200 EMA. So we have tagged the 200 EMA. This is the 50 EMA. And here again, this is a Bank Nifty futures chart. This is the visible range volume profile, previous day high, and we also have previous day low somewhere down here. Okay, so that's about explaining the chart. So currently, I trade mainly in Nifty, and sometimes in Bank Nifty. So I'll also show you the trade. So this is the current MTM which I have. These are some of the active trades, and I took one of the short trade in Nifty futures. So yeah, so overall, currently this is the MTM which I'm having in the current auction development process. So I'll just minimize this. And now let me just switch back to the market profile chart. Okay. So yeah, so continuation is seen. And yeah, so let's see what happens. Because a massive drop, inventory, 3 days the inventory was long to too long. So some inventory correction move is happening at the moment. And I see we just have right now one of the person joined. So if you have any questions, use the chat window. I'm happy to answer your question if you want to. Yeah. Okay. So just looking at the current chart, seeing continuation to the downside. I'll also switch to Bank Nifty. So Bank Nifty has cleared the today's low. And we also have a single print here. This is also a weaker reference. Okay. So one of the question which I had is what is PBH? PBH is nothing but pullback high. So what has happened today is this is where the auction opened today. It immediately went higher, developed higher. We have a weekly value area high and we saw some sort of rejection. And also there was an HPN. So this was a good opportunity to take a short trade and a trade location. It came down. Then again, this is the area. So this pullback high is also weaker reference where the auction tried to go higher. And again, the sellers came in and taking the auction down. Yeah. So yeah, so this is what currently I'm looking at. Today being the Thursday and the expiry day, sideways development, theta decay, plus if you see overall today's high and today's low, it's inside day compared to previous day's high and previous day low. So let one of the auction and the reference be taken out. So let this be taken out and see whether we see a pullback or whether we see continuation. So that's one of the things which I've learned a lot from Jim Dalton to observe for continuation, whether we are seeing continuation or not. And you can start with scalping. That's what I did, and then slowly, steadily, I switched over to options. So I generally trade options mainly. Sometimes I trade futures based on the opportunity which I see. Okay, so we are seeing continuation right now. Yeah, so let's see whether this reference gets tagged or not. Okay, just observing, and I'm observing the tempo, how sharp the tempo is coming in. Let me also share you the order flow chart so that it's pretty clear. So I'm also looking parallelly to the order flow chart. We have got unfinished auction around the lows. So I'm expecting continuation to the lower side. Just switch back to the, and see some pullback, some buyers. So this sort of things would happen. But overall, if you see, so this is a 5-minute chart, and overall, if you see, you can draw a trend line. So the overall, the trend is down, and some profit booking currently is happening. So don't fight, don't enter any trades at the moment. Let it develop. So let me just switch back to the market profile chart, and I'm just seeing whether this particular reference is getting tagged or not. Okay, why? So the question which I always ask is why? So the reason why it's going up is because of profit booking, and it's not that some people are buying here, but why it stopped here? You know, this is a small gap of, I don't know, 5 to 6 points. So this is 791 and this is 787. Yeah, so 5 to 6 points. So why a gap? Who's buying at a 5 to 6 or 5 to 7 points? Okay. So Bank Nifty is showing some sign of strength. So I'll just share my fires chart. This is the fires chart, and here if you see, we are seeing acceptance here around 200 EMA. Here we had developed sideways around the 200 EMA and a sharp rejection. So let's wait. So this is the previous day low when Nifty spot. Here we are I'm just looking at 35, 565. Yeah. I'll just switch back to the market profile chart. Okay. So the time is 12:12. It's been 12 minutes since I've been talking. Yeah. So very near to previous day low. So let's see. Let's wait and observe. Okay, and just share my again fires terminal. So currently looking at the MTM, I'm still in the negative side, but yeah, let's see what happens. So, okay, so in the meantime, the auction is developed. Let me just switch back to my presentation, and I just want to share that you know there is a recorded training available, so you can get trained yourself. This is a fair, I would say, a primer kind of a thing, wherein you will be able to learn about how to identify trade locations, how can you develop your own framework or your own edge using market profile. So I use market profile just so I'm a discretionary trader. I'm not a market profile trader, but I use market profile to understand the auction, how it is developing, where the weaknesses are, where the retailers are getting trapped, why the auction is getting reversal at a particular location, and all that stuff. Okay, so the idea is I use market profile to give me an edge in terms of building up the confidence and trade very effectively. So yeah, so so regarding unfinished auctions and stuff, so I would request you again to go get trained. This is just a free session, so all those are part of the paid session, so I won't be able to cover it in such free YouTube sessions. Okay, so let me just switch back to the market profile chart, and we are still developing sideways. So I'm now just looking at the tempo. A sharp downfall is what I'm looking at. So just observing. So 12:15 is done. The new period has started. So let's see whether we see a sharp downfall or not. I'll just zoom in a bit. Okay, so this is the area of demand, plus we are near a single print. So what I'm expecting is sharp downfall, again some pullback, again a sharp downfall, again a pullback. and then one big sharp downfall. And in this area, so first target is this HVN, and second is this is where the value is. So this is where I'm expecting a sort of a reversal. So yeah, so some traps are getting built. Avoid taking any shorts, avoid doing anything. Currently, I'm not seeing any trade location for the moment. Just watching how the auction is getting developed, just observing. And this is key. This is why you need to start observing using market profiles. It looks like it will be getting tagged. So let's see how the tempo comes in. And you saw a sharp downfall. There are like 2,000 trap sellers. I'll also share it using the order flow chart. Just a second. Yeah. So these are the trap sellers. And now we are seeing continuation. So I'll also share my, I'm still in loss. So 2000 loss. So yeah, I'm just looking at it. I have not gotten out of my trades. It looks like I will be making a loss today at the end of the day. But yeah, so the previous day low has been tagged. We're developing below it. We are in the single print zone. So this is where a lot of people will be getting trapped because this is a demand zone. This is where the option got rejected, a single print zone. So let's see whether we are seeing continuation or not. So some pullback will be seen till date, till this level. So I'll just remove this. This is the previous day low reference. So at the halfback is where again sellers will try to sell. So just waiting and observing. Yes, continuation seen to the downside. So we are 20 minutes done. Yeah, so sharp downfall seen. Some sideways development will be seen. I'm right now looking at halfback and also at the current low. Okay, so halfback is now getting tagged. So let's observe what happens here. So it got tagged, again it went down. Let's see what happens. Whether we see, so this is a sort of a pullback move. It dipped below previous day low and now it's again within the previous day's range. So let's see. So this is where a lot of people would have got trapped. They would have seen that it is, crossed. So we might see continuation to the downside. But yeah, let's observe. Let's sit and observe. Right now, I'm not seeing any trade locations, and this is a visual reference where retail players or the small players are, I would say, not smart people, but they are coming and selling at a very visual reference, that is previous day low. So yeah, so it's not that they will win or they will lose. It depends on the overall. So from the overall context, we are like one time framing down. So one period, second period. So previous 3 30 minutes period, we were one time framing down. So the context is that yes, we are bearish. Don't trade against the trend. There is a trend which has been set up. So let this particular option see and the next period whether we see continuation to the downside. Tag the gap which is there in the futures market and see some sort of reversal or not. Okay. And yeah, so this is the website where you can find the recorded training. You are aware of the Telegram channel and also on YouTube. If you search for trade education, you will find there are like more than 250 videos talking about how I'm analyzing markets and which areas I'm looking at. And some of the videos I've also shared my MTMs and some of the other nuances. So do check out those recorded videos. So right now the auction is developing higher around previous day low. So yeah, so let's just wait and watch. So I'll also share what's the current MTM. Just a second. So I have not exited any positions. I'm still in a loss of 1100 or 1200 rupees. So yes, so just waiting and watching. So by the way, I'm currently also participating in the 30-day challenge. So this is I have added 5 lakh rupees. This is after yesterday's loss. So yeah, so for 5 lakh rupees and see if I'm able to reach to 1% a month. That's the target which I have kept for myself. So yeah, so previous day low broken and now see the tempo. I'll share, I think the tempo is more visible on the market profile chart compared to the spot chart. And so see the tempo which is coming in. So a lot of people would have gone short. They would have kept their stop loss here or around the previous half back. And they also have, so people who are now going long, they have kept their stop loss below previous day low and also below the current low. So good profit booking or a good uh, pullback trade which is currently happening. So it's been 24 minutes, and in the next 4 to 5 minutes, I'll end the today's session. So if you have any questions or doubts, you can use the chat window of Zoom and let me know. I'm happy to answer. So earlier, this was an inside day. It looked below the balance, and now we are seeing continuation to the higher. So there was a failure below yesterday's low or previous day low. So let's see. It's not that now the auction will reverse and go higher. It can also continue downwards. Overall, we have sideways value development. So I'm looking now at the value area low, whether it is expanding or whether it is contracting. But yeah, but right now it looks like uh, failure of the balance rule. So it looked below and failed. And now we are shifting higher, developing higher. So let's observe. Okay, this does not mean that you can take a long trade or a short trade. Observe why the auction went below and came higher. Ask such questions. So some selling pressure coming in now. Now sellers will try to continue taking the auction below the previous day low. So let's see whether that happens. So the current auction, this is unfinished auction because there are both trapped sellers and trapped buyers. So you can just copy paste this. Next auctions at low. Okay. So nice pullback seen. So overall, if you study the auction, so this is where it opened. So it went higher, came down, again went higher, came sharp tempo down, then developed some higher, and then we have seen a sharp downfall. Okay. So this level, this level, this level. So these are the lower highs. So from market structure perspective, and this is the pullback high level which I've currently tagged. Yeah. So don't get confused about all these references that you will develop once you take the course, and it takes time. Why it is pullback high, why it is pullback low, and the other references. So I'll just share the order flow chart. Uh, so here, if you see some sort of selling activity is happening, this is the first standard deviation from order flow chart. And this was the trend line. So right now it's something like we have broken the trend line. And again, sellers are stepping in at a visual reference. So I'm just combining technical analysis with order flow. And this is an unfinished auction. So yeah. So 2 minutes left before the candle closes. So we are seeing a rejection in the first standard deviation. So I'll just clear the drawings. If you want, you can look at the numbers. So this is where, so this is one of the resistance zone. And now again, sellers are stepping in. And this is the previous day lows. So we need to see observe what happens, whether we see continuation or whether we see a pullback. Okay. See, some buying pressure is coming in and the 5-minute closes at this level. Now let's see whether we see continuation to the downside or not. Okay, so we are seeing some continuation. So lastly, before I go, I'll just share my terminal. So still 1800 loss. Earlier it was, I think, 1100, 1200. Yeah. So 1800, 1600 still going on. So let's see how I close today's position. I'll share it in the Telegram channel. Okay. So thank you very much. There is a chat. Yeah, thank you. So thank you very much. And let's catch up soon. Yeah. And next week and see how the auction develops. So take care. Bye for now and happy and safe trading. Bye.